sheer panic as a piece of the plane went missing.
Okay, let's kick things off with A is for Alaska Airlines. Boeing kicked off 2024 with an exit door being blown out mid-flight.
It was a trip from hell.
They're eating the dogs.
B is for brace yourself.
I didn't know she was black.
Donald Trump was all over the news in 2024. As he returns to the White House, get ready for even more.
To me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff.
Les barrières ici étaient déjà fermées.
C is for cattle caper. One of the stranger stories I covered this year.
Ils ont fait le tour comme ça.
A Quebec farmer had his entire herd, 73 cows, stolen. D is for pop diva. Canada's return to public life.
It's like somebody strangling you.
Celine Dion is still battling stiff person syndrome, but knocked it out of the park at the Paris Olympics.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, E is for Eclipse. A certain cameraman I know dismissed the story for weeks and then called it one of the greatest things he'd ever seen.
Mr. Assange, any comment?
F is for founder. Julian Assange, who created WikiLeaks, pleaded guilty to espionage charges and was sentenced to time served. He's now living in Australia. G is for Gulag. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny died in a prison camp in February. He knew what could happen when he went home, but believed to fight for Russia, he had to be in Russia.
Even from prison, he was the strongest opponent of Vladimir Putin.
Now, H is for hail.
Look at this.
The storm that hit Calgary in August caused about $2.8 billion in damage. It's the second most expensive natural disaster in Canadian history.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we gotta go.
I is for inundated or flooded. There were multiple major rainstorms in Quebec and across the country this year. Storms aren't what they used to be.
Global warming is real. It's happening. We just experienced it.
J is for Jasper, Alberta. A fire in July destroyed about a third of the buildings and homes in the community, one of the special jewels in this country. K is for Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan, a place where the Taliban has now banned women from schools, sports, and even parks. Yeah, parks. L is for labor strife. Canada Post walked off the job, as did rail workers and dock workers. If you were in shipping, it was a rough year.
We have no work, no money, so what are we gonna do?
If I weren't such a gentleman.
M is for Brian Mulroney. The former prime minister passed away in February and was remembered in a moving ceremony in March, one that he himself closed.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when.
This is the most complex, highest performance computer the world's ever made.
N is for NVIDIA. AI is exploding and runs on computer chips. Well, no company makes more of them than the one with the strange name, and for a while, no company in the world was worth more.
It's a jaw-dropper, historical.
Oh,
O is for over-tourism. Some top destinations had backlashes against tourists.
Too much tourist. It's horrible.
Now, P is for Gisèle Pellicot. It certainly didn't start as an inspirational story, but the woman in the middle of a mass rape case in France has shown a strength and a courage that defies belief. Well, Q is for quagmire. I seem to put Haiti on this list each year, hoping things improve. They don't. R is for resolution for Gaza. Again, this one's about hope as well, for a ceasefire and hostage deal. For S, we go with Syria. During its civil war, millions were displaced and more than 500,000 people were killed, hoping for better days ahead for that country.
How long you lived here?
About 2.5 years, almost.
T is for temporary, which is how tents are supposed to be used. They shouldn't be anyone's solution to being homeless, but in big cities and now even in small towns across this country, they're all some people have. We have to do better.
We are not moving until we're housed.
U is for under control, as in spending. $51 million a year for Juan Soto totally makes sense. Sure.
Toronto, we are so bad!
V is for Voices. Taylor Swift wrapped up her Eras tour. The Rolling Stones kicked off their 17th world tour.
Today is gonna be...
And Oasis announced a reunion tour. Hope they can get along. W is for What Were They Thinking, as in Canada's national women's soccer team and its drone scandal.
Jeremy Hansen.
X is for Extreme Patience, something Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen will need, with NASA announcing in December it's delaying its moon mission. Y is for Yes, I missed a bunch of stuff, like astronauts stuck in space, the Baltimore Bridge collapse, Caitlin Clark.
She's simply ridiculous.
McDavid really tries, and Notre Dame de Paris reopens. And finally, Z is for zero, like to zero in. Let's wrap up by focusing on some of the very special people out there, and I got to tell some of their stories this year.
We are loaded up.
People like April Huggett, a Canadian helping soldiers and civilians near the front lines in Ukraine, dodging danger, as tough as it gets.
If the rocket is made for you, it will find you.
Or Eddie Nolan, who ran every Terry Fox marathon for more than 40 years before cancer took him in April. As dedicated as they get. There are some tough stories out there, but as was the case with Terry Fox himself, it can be wonderful to focus on the people in the middle of them. Happy New Year.